Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Adaoma Onwukaeme. If you are a first time watcher, subscriber, thank you for showing your love. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell, so when next I have a new video, you'll be the first to know. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your love. And so today I want to talk about labels. And I put up a post last week on Facebook or Instagram, and I talked about a lady who wanted to study a course, and she walked into the first day she walked into the class. The lecturer told her, "Oh no, you missed your way. I think you're in the wrong class." And she was surprised because this is what she always wanted. This his first time. This was the first time he was seeing her, and he concluded that she was in the wrong class. She went on to finally take the course, and she was the best, one of the best students in class. And I wanted to explain that somehow in a society, either by race or gender or societal class, whatever, we tend to label people. Now, what are labels? Let's talk about what are labels. When you walk into a grocery store, right? You see items, and they have some paper or whatever on them that describes what the ingredient and how to prepare them, right? Or okay, let's look at your clothes. When you buy a piece of clothing, at the back of it there's this tag that tells you the materials that make up the clothes and how you can handle it, how you can wash it, right? So primarily labels are kind of descriptors. Labels generally are descriptors. They are used to describe the characteristics or the behavior of people. Why do we need to talk about labels? In society, like I mentioned earlier, we tend to label people, and the truth about the matter is that labels can be limiting. Just stay with me. I'm going to explain. Labels can be limiting, and that reminds me, the story of Rahab is always profound to me, because this is the genesis of this, the genesis of me talking about label. Because I in my book, and very soon the book will be out, I want you to get that book where I talk extensively about labels. I talked about Rahab. All my growing up years, I've always read about Rahab to be a prostitute, and that's the label that followed her. So prostitute. And the thing about label is that you don't see beyond that word that you inscribe on a person. That's why it's limiting. Now, as human beings, we are multi-dimensional. We are dynamic. I can be good. I can be bad. I can be quiet. I can be loud. So using just one descriptor to describe the whole of me is limiting. I could be a good girl today depending on the scenario, and tomorrow I could be a bad girl depending on the scenario. That does not make me, that doesn't make me either a good or a bad person. It just makes me human. And that's the idea behind this video today. I just want to create the awareness that most times in life we go about wearing labels. A label a person called you. Maybe you were growing up, and for some reason, maybe you didn't do well in maths, and then you always had C, and then you wrote an exam, and then you had a B or a C. You go on with that same mentality that, oh, I'm a C student. But the truth of the matter is that you were tested on something that you may not be very good at. Maybe you don't like maths, you don't like sciences, you could like something like history. And so instead of also focus on our strengths and the things we are good at, we beat up ourselves because of a label, the label that has been placed on us. The thing about label is that they do not define us in an absolute way. Like I mentioned before, you just see, oh, that's the popular girl in school, that's the beautiful girl in school, and you don't see the person beyond that, that word beautiful. And so when the person does something that is supposedly ugly, like, oh, how come that, and she's a beautiful girl, how can that beautiful girl do such a thing? My God, she's a human being. She's a human being. Labels, they put blinders on us that we don't see people beyond that label we've placed on them. He's a pastor. Yes, he's a pastor, but he's a human being. And so there's this notion that because he's a pastor, this is how he should live his life. I forget that this person is a human being. He's a pastor, yes, but he's a husband, he's a father, he's a friend, he's a brother, he's all of this. He's not just one of it. This is what labels do to us. They put blinders on us. And so today, my word to you is that labels do not define. I don't know what labels you've worn. I don't know what labels you have been called, but they do not define you. Yeah, the truth of the matter is that we all wear some form of label. Some of them are true, some of them are untrue, some of them are understandable, some of them are even scientific, used by the society. But in all of this, labels, whatever labels they are, they do not define you. They do not define me, because I am multidimensional. I am dynamic. Now, what are some of the labels we have allowed to define us? Number one is our past. Now, some of us have some past that we really want to bury, while some of us do not. But the past is in the past. It's not your future. But sometimes we allow our past to define us. So, if, for example, in the past you lived a riotous life, does that mean that right now you can't live a good life? And now have you met some of your old school classmates? I know some of us are guilty of this, and we treat them because of their past life, like how they were in high school. Let's say one of your classmates was notorious, was known to be a thief, and they're like, oh, and then we see them today, we still address them, we still relate to them with their past life. We are putting blinders on. We are labeling them based on their past life. Whereas in the present, they are different persons. They are different than who they were before. But we don't see that they're now a different person. We are relating, judging them based on their past. Your past does not define you. Your past is in the past. It doesn't matter if you have committed a lot of abortion in the past. Does not matter if you have lived a riotous life in the past. That does not define who you are. You are ever evolving. You are ever. I want you to stick deep into your subconscious. You are ever evolving. Who you are today is not who you were yesterday. And so do not allow who you were yesterday stop you from evolving into the person you're supposed to be. The past is in the past. And it is not all of you. Yes, you're still unveiling. There are still pieces of you that the world hasn't seen yet. So do not let your past stop you. Do not let your past stop your light from shining. Another label we've allowed to define us is our background. That economic background, or social background, or race. Yes, let's talk on race. I've always thought about it that how did the society come about classification of human being based on the color of their skin, and then we go by black and white? How did we get to that point? Now let's look at the color scheme. When this color is black, right? This is a black color. Since I was born, if you know, please let me know. Have you ever seen a person color that is this black? Now, have you seen a person's color that is this white? Have you? And so, how did we come to that category, that sort of categorization, that we categorize some persons to be black and some persons to be white? Now, when you close your eyes, just close your eyes for a bit, what do you see? You see darkness, right? And then when there's darkness, it means there's absence of light. And what does this mean? How does it make you feel? Let's say you are in a dark room, the light just went off. How does it make you feel empowered? No, you're stressed, you're afraid. Like, oh, I don't want to hit something, I don't want to miss my way. Darkness means absence of light, right? And sometimes darkness has been negatively connoted to mean evil. So why will we place a label of evil without light to some set of people? And then some set of people, we call them lights, purity. How do we get into this conclusion? And to be truthful with you, that label black and white sometimes has affected a lot of people, that they don't see themselves beyond that label black. The color of your skin is just a part of who you are. It's not all of who you are. It isn't. Another label we've allowed to define us is our circumstances. And the story of Naomi comes to mind. Naomi in the Bible, biblical Naomi, the mother-in-law of Ruth. She had been through a lot of things, just like we all go through terrible things. The loss of a husband, the loss of 2 children, 2 sons without any grandchildren. And then had one of her daughter-in-law, left her, and she felt like, let me be dead. I have no life to live. What am I living for? This life is so terrible. Life is so bitter. And then she called herself Mara, bitterness. And she didn't stop there. She enlisted people. She asked people, please call me bitter. Call me bitter. Your life circumstances does not define you. It doesn't. It doesn't matter where you are right now. See, after winter comes spring, comes summer, right? So winter doesn't last forever. Seasons change. So your circumstances does not define you. It never does. Whatever situation you find yourself right now, are you barren, you're a cancer survivor, divorced, a single mother, it doesn't define you. Do not limit yourself by those labels. They're not just who you are. You are all of it. I hope that this video, I hope that this has brought an awareness to you of what labels can do, and how labels, kind of limit us and put blinders on. And the next video, I'm going to go deeper into what labels do to us. I just want to set a preamble for this, to just create an awareness. Awareness is the first step, right, towards healing. Let's understand what labels are, what they mean, and how we have, allowed them run our life. And so in the next video, I'm going to talk about what they do to us, so that you know and you understand how these labels, what labels you have won over time, and how they are affecting your life. More about labels and what they do to us. Stay tuned for my book coming up later in the month. I'll put further information about that later as the month progresses. So I hope this video has blessed you, and I hope that it has enlightened you to what labels are and what they can do to us. Till I come your way next time, keep living intentional. Bye for now. Oh, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye.